All right, let's talk about a word that makes most small business owners cringe: compliance. You hear it and you just think headache, right? It feels complicated, expensive, and let's be honest, like a total burden. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if we could flip that thinking on its head? That's exactly what we're going to do here. Turn compliance from a chore into a real strategic advantage.
So let's just start with a really direct question. Think about your own business right now. Can you say with 100% certainty that you are truly compliant? It's a tough one, I know, but it's also one of the most important questions you can ask because the answer could be the difference between smooth sailing and a complete disaster.
And part of the reason that question is so hard to answer is that compliance isn't some simple one-size-fits-all checklist. Nope. The rules that apply to your business depend entirely on what industry you're in. And trust me, that landscape can feel like a total maze. The rulebook for a factory is a world away from the one for a financial advisor or a doctor's office. I mean, just look at this. If you're in manufacturing, you're juggling things like OSHA for worker safety and EPA for environmental rules. But hop over to finance, and suddenly you're dealing with the SEC, FINRA, and a whole bunch of strict anti-money laundering laws. In healthcare, it's all about protecting patient data under huge regulations like HIPAA. The bottom line is this: you absolutely have to know your specific rulebook. Okay, so knowing the rules is one thing, but really understanding what happens if you break them, that's what drives the point home. Because messing this up isn't just a little slap on the wrist. The cost of failure can be absolutely staggering, and it goes way beyond just writing a check for a fine. Take a good look at this number: $5.2 million. That is the average cost of a single non-compliance incident. Yeah, you heard me right. That's a number that can seriously cripple or even completely bankrupt a small or medium-sized company. And listen, this isn't just some theoretical number pulled out of thin air. Here's a real-world example. A mid-sized electronics company got slapped with a €250,000 fine. Why? A GDPR violation. Their data protection measures just weren't up to snuff. This is the kind of thing that's happening to businesses every single day. But you know what? That huge fine is often just the tip of the iceberg. The hidden costs can be even worse. We're talking about your reputation getting absolutely torched. And once you lose your customers' trust, man, it is so hard to get it back. Then there's the chaos it causes, having to halt your business or being forced to completely change the way you do things overnight. It can just wreck your entire operation. So after all that doom and gloom, it's easy to feel a little overwhelmed. But here's where we flip the script. Instead of just reacting to these huge threats, we can actually get out in front of them. It's all about changing your perspective and thinking of compliance as a proactive way to control risk. And the tool that lets you do that is something we call a comprehensive compliance framework. Think of it like your company's strategic playbook for staying safe and strong. This isn't about just mindlessly checking off boxes. It's a smart, integrated system that helps you meet all your requirements, minimize those crazy risks we just talked about, and frankly, just run a better, stronger business. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually build one of these things? Well, it's not as scary as it sounds. We can actually break it down into a really clear 5-step action plan. Here it is, your roadmap. Step 1 is risk assessment. You got to figure out exactly what rules you're playing by and where the holes are in your current setup. Step 2, policy development. This is where you write down clear, simple rules for how your business handles important stuff, like data. 3 is implementation. You bring in technology to automate things and keep an eye on it all for you. 4, training. This one's huge. Your team is your first line of defense, so you have to make sure they know the rules. And finally, step 5, monitoring and reporting. This isn't a one-and-done thing. It's a living process you have to constantly check in on. You know, the goal that ties all 5 of those steps together is actually really simple: integration. You want compliance to be woven into the very fabric of how you do business every day. It shouldn't be some separate, annoying task. When it just becomes part of your company culture, that's when it gets really powerful. And that brings us to the final transformation, full circle from where we started. We began by looking at compliance as this heavy burden, this complex, costly problem. But by building a smart, proactive framework, we've managed to turn it into something else entirely. This right here is the biggest shift in mindset. You have to stop seeing compliance as just another cost on your balance sheet. Start seeing it for what it truly is: an investment. It's an investment in your company's stability, in your customers' trust, in your reputation, and in the long-term healthy growth of your business. It's what protects you from disaster while building a stronger foundation for success. So I'll leave you with one final question to think about. When you look at your own business, what is your compliance program? Is it just a shield that you hope protects you from getting fined? Or have you turned it into a secret weapon, a powerful tool that builds trust, strengthens your operations, and actually helps you grow? The choice, really, is yours.